Sasira zamini we bwana le baba asira zanini we bwana
anambuyana na sekuru kumamisha Ea madzose zisati dzaziva Dine shoko guru randinoda kubudzai Neuson chamisa wave nebato itsva Iri danho rakatorwa mushure mekungu Paonekwa kuti zita reMDC rakange rasvibiswa nemandu ngonzo rakomichina nakupene vamwe saka kana mave kuzoenda kunovhota munofanira kucherekedza kwazvo chiso chachamisa nemasi matatu pamwe neruvara rwemabanana votera Nelson Chamisa voterai pamasi matatu voterai Nelson Chamisa voterai paruvara rwemabanana votera Nelson Chamisa voterai pamasi matatu voterai Nelson Chamisa voterai paruvara rwemabanana musanyengedzwa nebato rezanu muchipiwa mbeu nefotereza tinoda bato rinounza mabasa kuti mugozvitengera mega zvamunoda bato rezanu rauraya nyika muzere mbavha dzinoba zvikuru vanongozvifunga ivo vega momo yenyika ichikanga waya kana vouya kwamuri vanonyepa kuti masanction auraya nyika nyamba varivo vanouraya nyika nekuda kweuori hwavanoita votera Nelson Chamisa voterai pamasi matatu voterai Nelson Chamisa voterai paruvara rwemabanana votera Nelson Chamisa voterai pamasi matatu voterai Nelson Chamisa voterai paruvara rwemabanana
mazvisikira mega nai doti manhero akanaka vana vezimbabwe muri kumativi mana enyika zvanzi taurirai vana sisi kumaruva nai vana sekuru vana mpuya vanani kuti hanzi kwava nebatodzva rakafomwa napresident Nelson Chamisa nai hanzi kana monovhota mucherechedza pachiso chapresident Nelson Chamisa kana makunovhota cherechedzai ruvara rwemabanana kana makunovhota musatambura panenge ine masi matatu batsirai chengo Innocent Gwaya welcome ladies and gentlemen sangana ineni Shapiro Shepherd Yuda nai tichienderera mberi nenhaka yeupenyu tichienderera mberi nechirongwa chatakatanga nezuro nai political campaigns chimborichi political campaigns ma political messages tiri kuenda kupi blachichikoenda kungondirasisa so voita mudumbu nai arodha muteti vatete makadii vana vezimbabwe muri kumativi mana enyika mese ndinoziva kuti hakuna chiri kumbokufambirai ikoko mumwe nemumwe ari kudai ndanga ndiri kumusha nai unoona mumwe munhu achidhiraivha latest ml uchidhiraivha latest BMW uchidhiraivha mafortuna ari muno maya unoko chikodai ndichimhanya nemotikari yakadai ndiri kumusha ndigere zvakanaka nai hapana munhu asingashuwire kuenda kumusha kwake hapana munhu asingashuwire kuita nyika yakanaka hapana munhu asingashuwire kuita zvakanaka mukati mekurarama regai titange kurubununa nhau dzacho because what we are seeing now is Zimbabweans, we are merged into useless things. We have been dealing with a lot of stupidity. We've been dealing with a lot of rudeness. We've been dealing with a lot of bad mouthing in the political arena. Ndaona kunyange vanakapfupi vina zviri sei vena badze ndaona kana vanakapfupi hanzi vakuda kuita members of parliament kuEpworth. Unoona politics dzachipa nai dzachipa politics ndosaka maakunzwa zvakutaura vachinzi voterai president Nelson Chamisa, voterai triple C, voterai hanzi vanhu pfeka yellow shapiro ndikati aiwaka mukatasa payellow pachi pane color yeblack. Black is another color that we can use. Yebo yellow pakaoma but campaign I think iri towns, no campaigns in rural areas, and many people are not aware of the new part. This is your duty, Linet, and my duty as Shepherd Judah, to inform our relatives kumaruva kumaruzeva kuti ndo zvapo nai vena hanzi Yuda mwari ngakuwedzere masimba ndinotenda tete mukoma Yuda I miss you pamberi nedzidziso yenyu thanks mukoma Peter manjese zviri kufamba seiko evi atete Evelyn nyakupinda ndakasimba mwana wamai zviri sei vari sei vakwambo vari sei vazukuru kwese kwamuri hana usaya chipanga ufunge zvakuita politics. Ndakataura nezuro ndikati tane problem muZimbabwe yekuti politics dzedu dzangove politics dziya dzekuti mumwe nemumwe afunga kuita politics obva afunga kuti can be a good politician because ya source of employment atete Pavlan Bungeni. How are you? Zakuita politics dzekuZimbabwe ya source of employment. This is why muri kuona akusina mabasa muZimbabwe. Vanhu vakungorwirana kuti regai ndite member of parliament, regai ndite councillor, and ZANU-PF yacho yakutoona kuti nekushaika kwemabasa muZimbabwe yakutoda kutoisa members of parliament, more members of parliament, more councillors, so that people get into council, people pay. Hanzi todashura ambiti ngadzidashura mukoma Benjamin nyika muri sei Peter mutiraingwa zviri kufamba ere mwana wamai. So sometimes it's difficult to keep your mouth shut when we see things are happening like this. You just want to scream, ladies and gentlemen, or just give the other person a peace of mind, a piece of your mind. You don't just keep quiet when things are as bad as they are. John Shamu and Chamisa anozikanwa mukoma kungoudza vanhu kuti pana Chamisa chete chatobvondoka. Lawrence Chingarandi zviri kufamba ere mudhara sei 2023 President Nelson Chamisa. Iwewe neni tine basa rekudzidzisa hama dzedu dziri kumaruzevha nai vasingazive ngavadzidziswe. Zviri sei mukoma Oscar Gandashanga makadi mukoma Webi mandirasa mudhara Webi mandirasa kana mboti Yuda ndeipi ndichakufonerai mangwana titaure mudhara Webi mandirasa zviri kufamba ere musadavira Silvanos muchazondida zita iri ndinorifarira mukoma Silvanos dai maziva sare kuti muchazondida iri kuti ndorifarira sei. I might adopt this name muchazondida. Nganditi mwana Odra Tapiwa mbofana mukoma Yuda zviri sei atete odi makasimba ere munyaradzi nyamukurudza zviri sei. Welcome British ana British pamberi neZANU-PF hazvina kushata British mwana wamai. Ndozvatiri kutaura kuti we have been dealing with stupidity for the past 20 years. We have been dealing with rudeness for the past 22 years. We have been dealing with the bad mouthing for the past 22 years. Stupidity in ZANU-PF Look, amkanya zviri sei asi soko riri kufamba mukoma Yuda yellow ipapo Diana Williams ndinotenda mukoma Sylvester Taruinga my brother muri sei mukoma wangu. Hope you and family are okay, you are enjoying now 2022, a promising year for Triple C. Hands na President Chamisa, wait, hands a new thing is brewing up. Mkoma webi, zuri se handa ganji shika mapeza life ndoziziwa mamshinono kamdara asi mnenge mshikanga kanga ere msadaro so mkoma webi. So I'm saying British my friend, Zimbabweans have been fighting stupidity. ZANU-PF stupidity. Zimbabweans have been fighting ZANU-PF rudeness and ZANU-PF bad mouthing. And nona se kuti ZANU iri kuti wakawanza tumapato hobo kuti pamwe zvingashande azvisenze, because this is what I'm going to talk about tonight, so that people understand or people know what to do. We have got strategies, ladies and gentlemen. So some strategies tinozitaura pajekerere kuti vanhu vazidziswe, vasingazive todzidzisa pano nai. Hanzi bom koma Shapiro ndiripo following hangu zvakanaka munya zvakanaka mwana wamai. So you see, sometimes you just need to give a shout. Sometimes you just need to give a person a piece of your mind. British, I'm glad, my friend. Unoda ZANU-PF yako, but you are here to hear my peace of mind. Ndo zvandofarira vanhu veZANU-PF ndinovafarira zvikuru. I need to use it, I'll give you. Vanhu veZANU-PF ndinovafarira zvikuru because they spend more time. They spend more time with us. They listen to us. And the message is being driven across. If you see the way that they interact with us, vachitanga kutuka, vachitanga kuda kuti criticize, zvoratidza kuti shoko riri kufamba. ZANU-PF kuti iitei chayakatadza kuita in 41 years, exactly like what I said yesterday. Sometimes you are just plain fed up. Ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabweans are just plain fed up with the stupidity, with the rudeness, with the bad mouthing. And my sanctions are going to MTC. And that is bad mouthing. That's bad mouthing. We are fed up. We don't eat that. We don't eat that. We are fed up. We cannot build our country with bad mouthing, like what ZANU-PF does. This is why yesterday I dwelt too much on their messages of campaign. I said they don't bring voters. This is why you see and ZANU-PF end up using violence, because their campaigns do not bring anything. No voter can go and vote for ZANU-PF. Would you promise wakunzi imimi ndimi vana ndimi future ya Zimbabwe, ndimi future ya mangwana? If you look at the people who are saying you are the future of tomorrow, these were the same people who were talking about our future in 1980. We are supposed to be enjoying our future now, but we can't enjoy our future. We totally have no future at all. And they are promising vazukuru vangu, vana vangu, because my children have got no future reserved by ZANU-PF for the past 41 years. So now they are promising vazukuru vangu. You can tell mbuya vakaita sa Opa Muchinguri vari kusvika kuma 80 years. Mbuya sekuru vakaita sa Idi Mnangagwa vari kusvika kuma 80 years. These are the same people, ladies and gentlemen. In 1980 vaifamba ne2 makumbo, vakufamba ne3 izvozvi. Those the same people who promised the Shepherd Yuda future, to say you are the leader of tomorrow. This is my tomorrow. There is no any other tomorrow for me. From here, I'm going straight to my grave. So this is my tomorrow. And these same people promised me my future, to say our normal leaders among one. If I want to go and lead, they send armed soldiers to kill us. They send the police officers to arrest us and incarcerate us without trial. You see, so this is why I am saying all what ZANU-PF is doing can never bring voters. No voter now can listen to ZANU-PF and say you are the future of tomorrow. Which tomorrow is it? You are no longer talking about the future of my children, but they have reached their peak, their future. You are now talking about the future of my grandchildren. My grandchildren. You are talking about the future of Shepherd Yuda, the father. From there, you shifted to the future of my children. From there, you shifted. You are now talking the future of my grandchildren. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes Zimbabweans get fed up. We are fed up. We are just plain fed up with all this stupidity, with all this rudeness and bad mouthing. Ukanzwa munhu weZANU-PF achitaura kuti future yako iwo mutaura kuti you are bad mouthing. That cannot build a country. That cannot build a future. We don't have the future that they promised us. So what you see and what you hear tonight is there is no future for you. There is no future for your children. There is no future for your grandchildren as long as ZANU-PF is still in power. Saka ngatidzidzise vanhu vekumaruwa. Hanzi Yuda hakuna munhu achada ZANU-PF. Hanzi vanhu vave kuziva chokwadi. Yes, because this is why yesterday I dwelt much on their campaign to say, look, it doesn't bring voters. No voter will vote for ZANU-PF because ZANU-PF is promising you future. No voter will vote for ZANU-PF because it's promising your grandchildren future, which they fail to provide for the father, for the grandfather, and the grandmother. You understand? So you want to speak out, ladies and gentlemen. We want to speak out. You want to speak out. You must speak out and let's correct things. You understand what I mean? Why we are speaking out. We want things to be corrected. We have seen this rudeness in ZANU-PF where they end up initiating violence, killing voters, killing people for voting an opposition political party. So when we speak, we want to correct things. We want to correct things. I understand that stupidity is all too common in some parts of our country, and it's hazardous to your health. When you are stupid, if you don't know that you are stupid, that is dangerous to your health. You understand? That is very dangerous to your health. Studies have been done. Stupidity end up. Most stupid people end up with heart attacks. You end up. Heart attack is a disease that can attack anyone. But when you are a stupid person believing in ZANU-PF, that means you end up having a heart attack. You end up being a patient. You end up being a patient. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen. And those heart attacks we see in Zimbabwe today, they are blamed on ZANU-PF because we have this disease known as stupidity, which risks you getting a heart attack. Even if you think that ZANU-PF will ever change the political arena, the political system in our country, you will die from stupidity. It is a virus. ZANU-PF is a virus that causes stupidity, and that stupidity will end up you having a heart attack. And in the morning. So what I'm saying is, stupid people, they try to drive the electorate crazy, and almost all of them and their heart attacks within less than 16 months to come. We've got less than 16 months to come to confront these stupid people. We want to confront their stupidity. You understand? You will see some people being rushed to hospital. Vadona vaita heart attack. Ukamubvunza unonzwa kuti ZANU-PF has shredded my life. ZANU-PF has shredded my life. Your life has been shredded by ZANU-PF. And you see someone collapsing. But we have maintained the high degree of stupidity for quite some time. We have tolerated rudeness, ZANU-PF rudeness, bad mouthing. They be telling you opposition yakanotsvaga sanctions. They don't look at their violent nature. These affairs were nurtured in a violent way. As a result, they dish out violence to innocent people. And when they are put on sanctions because of that violence act, they start crying that the opposition has brought sanctions. Because you want to just bash the opposition because the opposition cannot fight you back. You have got firearms, arms of war. You have got soldiers. You have got police You have got prisons. You have got cells to lock us up. So if we don't fight back, and those people watching, they will say, "Oh, this is the most barbaric way of doing politics in this country. We don't want ZANU-PF people to visit our country. You don't come to our country. As a result, you cry, oh, we are under sanctions. But you don't see your barbaric methods of politics. The way you do your politics is so barbaric that not even a 21st century country would want to associate with the ZANU-PF. Azamukutara mkoma, Chings, Agafa, ne attack, no chokwadi chocho. Atete Constance Mangwiro zvirise no chokwadi mkoma John Sham Chings akadona ne attack akafa ne stupidity akafa ne rudeness akafa ne bad mouthing. Vana Chings vakadzimba makomo vakadza kudhiriswa. Chings akakwira pamusoro penyika akati ndiri comrade Vivazan ndakarwira nyika zvikanzi nechivhivhazanu chako tiri kukoromora nechimba chako ichocho andiri muri kuona. So you find that when people become stupid and start believing stupid people, rude people, and bad-mouthing people, we end up having a country like Zimbabwe. A country like Zimbabwe, where all roads are full of potholes, where children are not going to school, where government promises you, ZANU-PF promise you free education next year, and their next year hasn't arrived. We are not yet in ZANU-PF's next year. We are still waiting for their promises to be fulfilled. They were talking about 1.5 million houses by 2023. We are still waiting for those 1.5 million houses. These are promises that won't bring anything to a country anymore. So, as Zimbabweans, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm begging you is let's not bring ourselves to the level of ZANU-PF. Let's operate above their standard. Because ZANU-PF has got certain standards that they set. Their bar is too low for a nation. Their bar is just a way or a matter of worsening the situation in our country. Because they don't see when they are bad-mouthing. They don't see it when they are implementing their rudeness. They don't see it when they become stupid. It's difficult to tell a stupid person that you are stupid. You understand? And that stupid person won't believe it, that I'm stupid. And I'm being told you are stupid. And he doesn't reflect why people are saying you are stupid. You understand? So, we need to operate above this rudeness of an organization known as ZANU-PF. We are an eager people. We are people who want to see a country, a working country. Zimbabwe must be a working country. We don't want all this restlessness that we witness on daily basis. This hustling that we witness on daily basis. Guess what? To me, I saw money in Harare. All those rubbish that you see strewn around Harare, they are for recycling. Those containers, someone must be picking them up, sending them for recycling. Kuchigadzirwa madish kunogezera maoko chana nema containers aya. Makeni makoko aya. Man. Marara anogaiwa anoita manyowa marara uzenda chitarisa so maplastic aya anotorwa ese oitwa recycled. We are sitting on top of money tichifunga kuti garira marara. You understand? But because we've got a stupid government, we've got a rude government, we've got a government that bad mouth, and that type of government won't see what I'm telling you, that people are walking on top of money. You just need to pick those empty bottles, take them for recycling, melt them kugadzira rubber. Tirashe Jonas vari kumushaira mari data. Ndakamutaurira mukoma mano ndikati Shakespeare musairano ndakamutaurira Tinashe Jonas ndikati Wanga jaira ku South Africa ka kune data. Now wauya ku Zimbabwe. You are not going to do what you were doing in South Africa. I think he's now facing reality. The other boy, Benson Matinyararire, what he was doing out of South Africa, he can't do it whilst he's in Zimbabwe. Akuna data racho. ZANU-PF are fed up. Varakashi vaya, they are nowhere to be found now. Takungoramba tisingotaura isu vana Yuda. Varakashi atichavaonekana. Atizimona takutaura isusu vana Yuda. Varakashi nemakambani zavo vakatofomerwa makambani ane mabhazi vachinzi endai munorakasha ikoko atichavaoni. They can't defend their president. He has been accused of sexual abuse, abusing a 13-year-old Susan Mutami. Unoziva kuti I've received a message, ladies and gentlemen. I received a message panam. Let me see this message. I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to read it. When bananas turns yellow, they are ripe and ready to eat. Ready. I received a message. I'm not going to say who sent this message. I'm just going to read it. Sepo, how are you? Hands yellow mukoma Yuda. Nyaya ya Susan Mutami about ED is very true. She told us this story tinaye ku college muna 2006. It happened when she was ku secondary school. I'm not going to say who sent this message, but I am just telling you kuti nyaya itika panapa ndiye kuti Susan Mutami, whatever she's telling you, she's not lying. There are witnesses to this matter, and the people who in our college ndo vari kutaura. That is very true. So look at it, ladies and gentlemen. The type of people who are running Zimbabwe, rapists, people who sexually abuse women, are the people running Zimbabwe. Nosaka murugona at the end, hanzi chamisa repa munu kupi kunoton. No, there's something that these people want to tell us. If you look at what amai Robert Mugabe, so aitaura Grace kamwana mkanya katsokoka kachitaura kachiti wana wajaira kaida kutaura nyaya abuse iyoyo, but I think ndofunga pane munhu akamuti usataura unogona kungotambwa iyaye anditimaona. Saka ladies and gentlemen, we are not concerned about these affairs with whoever he chooses to sleep around with, but we are concerned with abuse of minors, abuse of children, abuse of both at 13. That girl was already abused. And abuse of women is not allowed international. This is why I'm saying, and the whole world should know about this rape case. Definitely, the world should know, and he shouldn't be allowed to be traveling around the world. He shouldn't be allowed, because as it stands, I still remember when Mike Tyson wanted to come to UK for a show, they couldn't allow him here because he was convicted of rape. So because of his powers, this Susan Mutami cannot get him arrested in Zimbabwe. He can't. She can't. He cannot be arrested in Zimbabwe because he's someone anochkiwa, someone arkuchkisa and murugona. And the people were blaming the Susan anonyepa Susan say, but murata taura achiti chimwana. She's now telling me. And the mon. Anyway, that is none of our business, but what we should be concerned is about this rape accusation. This must be investigated, and if it's true, Idrim Nangagwa must be arrested. And the mon. Ladies and gentlemen, but so much of the humor today, Yamurgona is based, it could be bad mouthing. At 15 years, my dear, Idi Atodona, definitely. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is I am going to look into a lot of things, because this is a Negro woman, a nigger. When we were growing up, nigger. So if you see that with all these rape issues, I think ED must be arrested and thrown into jail, because this woman was refused justice, and she went to the extent that she even told Robert Mugabe. She went to the extent that she met even Vana SB Moyo, and she ended up being abused by SB Moyo as well. Instead, they would vatore nyaya, vafamise nyaya, yende mberi. And you see, Vana Chwenga must be knowing this. Look at the treatment that he's giving to Mary. He must be knowing about this. And why did they called ED when he was fired? You understand? Because they knew a lot of issues will crop up, like what is happening today. So, ladies and gentlemen, is a political message. Tonight, we are going to talk about a political message. What is it? What is a political message? Chii chatuda kuziva nezvacho. Chii chiri kumboitika kuti zoti tikuda a political message, tikuda kukampena, tikuda kuita sei. I know there have been a lot of campaigns that were happening in our country. The other issue that I want to tell is Zimbabweans who have become dormant. If you consider the time yana tenda IBT, vana Welshman Nguwe, the University of Zimbabwe yaregerera vanhu. Boss kudara taitonzwa kuti vana skala vatonetsa ku university on political matters, on issues of governing, and a lot of students led these protests during that time with civil rights movements which were there during that time. So they did a lot. These guys, they did a lot. They successfully challenged the government. They successfully challenged the government to change the direction of certain laws, the direction of certain way of governing the country. And the civil rights movements were there as well to support these students during that time. But today, our students are very quiet. University of Zimbabwe students are very quiet. They were supposed to have been at the center stage of taking this struggle further. But hey, university. It is important that these guys, they take note of our political instability in our country and initiate some demonstrations, some sit-ins. Kudara daita ma demonstration kwaitwa ma sit-in pa university. Paitwa zvakawanda masoja mapurisa vachiudzwa kunzi vana vharani nini hamuna chamunotudza. Imimi huyai kuchikoro muverenge musiyane nezvekubata mazipfuti iwayo. So you see that a lot of students activism during that time was sporadic. Demonstrations were sporadic, and a lot of things. Unarmed black students at Teesside University, they had to fight running battles with the police, and the decisions that they made during that time are still standing. But aipapo pauniversity mudhara yuda vatirasa zvechokwadi. Ndo nyaya yandiri kutaura kuti vakomana vekuuniversity of Zimbabwe vanenge vasiri kuona what we are seeing. Taitoziva isusu kuti chimurenga kana chimoto chinotanga nevafana vepaUZ. You understand? But tonight they're just sleeping. They are not doing anything. If they want to talk about their grants, they talk about money, and that's it. They don't talk about how our country is governed. Ndopa murukona pakasimuka wana Nelson Chamisa. Ndopa murukona kwakasimuka wana Welshman Ngui. Kwakasimuka wana Lane Mojongwe. Kwakasimuka wana mdara changira vaenda kwachitaura nowakuma nawo. Vachiita misangano vachita sei. But you see the today's students at Najara Teesside at the University of Zimbabwe, they've let Zimbabweans down. They've let Zimbabweans down. Students countrywide, they've let Zimbabweans down. I don't know where this fear is coming from. I don't see why they are so scared of challenging a system that they are reading and understanding how things are governed in a country. Koma yuda anzikuita matama emari so hakuna mari dagi urise mbarame hakuna mari buy one get one free. And man, there were a lot of running battles. Today's University of Zimbabwe students are so cautious. They don't care about how the country is governed. They don't even challenge the country. They don't occupy the streets. They don't do some protests. Because, you know, if they protest, do some power protests, must treat the government is forced to change certain things. But, you see them in a flash, they evaporate. So you don't see them. We need a lot of changes. We need a lot of involvement from these students because these people, they can force the government to change strategies. They can even put some blockages on certain issues that the government is misgoverning the country. We need tactics from University of Zimbabwe. We need things to change. You see, in the meantime, these guys are not doing anything. They are not doing anything. Even debates, they are not even debating about how the direction of the country where it is taking. So they think that governing a country is a question of sensitivity. There is nothing sensitive. People should know. People should be encouraged to join you. We should be encouraged to join you guys. We should be encouraged to support you. You are supposed to be on the forefront. You are the representatives of the majority. Today, so student activism, yakaenda nana job scholar, yakaenda nana Welshman, no makorata nzota, wakomana pa university, vadotera mumafiriji, mujuruzanya yacho, kuti sadza rikangodai rikangotsva chete wakomana vaenda kudotera mufiriji. Andimuriona. Now, tane ma students ekuti uwanda kuti chavari kutya chii. We are like in a world, like in a war. Ekuti vanhu vanenge vachingotya. They must now examine their roles as students. They must learn from wana Martin Luther King, wana Stokely Kamiko, wana Fanny Luyam, wana Malcolm X. So our students must learn from those guys waka initiate ma movements aichikisa kunana America. Urukunzwa. Zvekuti paunobva pa University of Students unenge uchizikanonzi pasimuka Yuda. Every year these people graduate. We don't know who has graduated, who has been doing this. You see, and you see, most of these guys, they were embarking on non-violent protests, which were effective during that time, which focused on students, on students and a range of individuals who were non-violent during that time. You know why today? It seems like we don't have a university in Zimbabwe which can challenge the government, which can raise awareness of the injustice that the Zimbabweans are suffering. Unoona mu Zimbabwe muchitwa political violence, the students vakanyarara. Ma students akanyarara. Ma civil rights organizations akanyarara. Members of the community vanenge vakutya. They need leaders, they need people to be at the forefront and do the work. But what Brother Albert Chingondo ziri kufamba. So what I'm saying here is a non-violent protest must sit in aitwa kudhara nema students. Watu kafamba marare vaona vakagara muna Julius Nyerere kunobuda uko vakazara motikari dzombomira kufamba vachidhimanda zvavanenge vachidhimanda. Vincent Manatsa zviri sei anoita sekunge chikafu chavanodya kuuniversity chakaiswa mupfuwira wokutya mukoma. Ndo zvimwe zvandiri kuona ipapa kuti ndofuka mvura iri kuendeswa ikokoko ine mupfuwira wokutya, because matyiro arikuta mastudents aapo ezvinezvi vakomana dai vanhu vaitya kusina kana mapolitical parties anofomwa munyika medu. Matthews Mavhira anzi budi vana vanoda shurwa, maganazi ndo ane chimuti, saka pakaipa. Even vana Ncube pavaita ma-protests, vana Job Scholar vachita ma-protests, vana Tedai Bita, the gunners were still there. Makore aya kwakatoipa Matthews, because kwairekrutwa yainzi youth yeZANU-PF yavaipfeka zvima-green shirt vaive, ndo vainoiswa vairekrutwa nana Surisuru, ndo makore avaendeswa kuMozambique vakomana vaive. Andimona. Saka kwakutori dangerous makore aya, vanhu vangasati vadzidza. Now taane masoja, mamwe ane O level, mamwe ane ma grade 7, mamwe ane JC. tani masoja mamwe akatoti dzidzei vanokwanisa kuteerera chirungu chichitaurwa votonzwa direction yenyaya kuti zviri kubva kupi zviri kuenda kupi. Saka ezvinozvi ngati vafana vanga vasimuke kana andimona Zimbabwe simuka Zimbabwe because history yedu yese ndo vanoiziva vafana ndo vari kuverenga history. Pakabuda vafana vainzana warlord pa University of Zimbabwe wana munhu mutapa masama akunzwa anonzi chikoro chamarengo zvaibuda nepa University of Zimbabwe munhu akutozviti ndonzi munhu mutapa atoverenga history ainzwisisa. They are spending their time too much on social media on wrong things. Definitely vale taura ako mwana wamai wangu because ukaenda pa University of Zimbabwe ukaona pane WhatsApp group ndrestonian vanenge vachitorana mavideos vachita stonian maroom avachaiti zvekufunga kuti how do we take our country further. And muri kuona Zimbabwe payakamira ndipapo mastudents acho they are sleeping on jute, they are doing nothing. And so I don't know how best we can stop them kuti vaite vasaite zvestonian pa university vambotarisa zvematongerwo enyika. And I don't know how best we can do it, but there must be a way that we must do it kuti vamboona vakomana because nyaya yacho yakurwadza. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you see I've said I'm glad to see you all here today to discuss these issues. You are exactly what I need. You are exactly what I need. People to come to such platforms so that we teach a lot of things and so that we impart information. Let's share my videos. These videos and are important. I think you can agree with me. The content yacho a bit higher than the content that I talk there. This is takubata panonyangara takubata panorwadza achakurungana zvataita kudhara izvi takungoti takata go panorwadza ipapo kuti munhu anyasonzwisa kuti wherever you are you need to work. So you guys are what we need to keep this struggle going forward, because if we don't do that, we need these University of Zimbabwe students to make some initiations to keep this struggle forward. And more his name is Shepherd Judah. I was also a student. I was not a student at the University of Zimbabwe, but I was also a student at a university level where we got some degrees, ladies and gentlemen. So I am shocked with the behavior that I'm witnessing today. Any WhatsApp group at University of Zimbabwe is Tony. Being sexual. That will never bring the world, our country forward. The other thing vanawa drug our pets and no chokwadi chocho. Saka isu sema parents ma BP chete budi. No chokwadi mkoma Matthew. Apparently mo chokwadi chino kufure pap. What they are just doing, sniffing cocaine. And this cocaine again ngechiba kumbaka vice president vachiwenga. Vaitaro mukadzi wano zvibaya ma Jackson and ma drugs. That mustn't shock people. That mustn't surprise people. That mustn't frighten us. We are just frightened for nothing. And so what we need is to go to the people, as I said. Let's go to the people. Let's talk with the people. The University of Zimbabwe students need to be engaged. This is a true struggle that needs everyone's input. Because if you sit down, you watch your television, you go to bed, you sleep, you have lula, you wake up tomorrow, you open the library, over 1-2 books, WhatsApp. That will never move the country forward. By now, people should be hearing of CCC on radio. People should be hearing of CCC on television. We are all Zimbabweans. We should have equal access to our state media. And the Zimbabwe students, they know the laws that ZBC must operate this way. And they must be championing that please follow what the Constitution says. And in the morning. Because today when you read the newspaper, the way the other opposition political parties are portrayed in the newspaper. So, you know, if you are someone who wants to be part of the movement, kune vamwe vekuti unoziva kune vamwe vanhu vakagara pafence vanofanirwa kuziva kuti chii chiri kuitika munyika, vanofanirwa kuziva kuti zviri kuitika munyika umu, which party should I vote. And those people, most of them rely on reading newspapers. When they read newspapers, what they hear about the opposition, but because University of Zimbabwe is not taking its role to educate the masses, streamer students, politics, streamer students, mutemo wenyika inonoti zvakati hatisikuona zvichiitwa, toita stage in, toita sit in, and on. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the campaign message. This is what I was preaching all along, so that you guys understand. It's part of the campaign message that I was saying. I'm talking about a campaign message where we target audience, where we target certain group of people. You need to decide. You need to decide what you will say to persuade them to participate in everything that we are saying. So I have started by targeting the University of Zimbabwe students. This is a campaign message that I've been sending to you. It tells the voters why you are running for a particular political party, or why you are running for a particular office, or why you are supporting this, and what best you should do that your opponent can't do. This sounds simple. This sounds simple. Today I was targeting a certain audience, targeting the academic field, the academic world, where you find these people who study English, people who study politics, people who study governance of a country. These are the people I was targeting today. So this is like a campaign message that people must always be doing. Choke and nudge them. University of Zimbabwe students, where are you? What are you doing? Varitonowo sewage sesu. Dai vachiti vakavhura pombi mukabuda mvura yegreen, vanoenda mustreet kuti taona mvura yegreen mupombi. The government will definitely act. The government will definitely act. So, once again, a campaign message, ladies and gentlemen, like I've stated from the beginning, must target a certain audience. A good example is I was talking about the University of Zimbabwe. A campaign message is not the candidate's program of what they will do if elected. No. It is not a list of the issues the candidate will address. No. And it is not a simple catchy phrase or just a slogan. No. All of these things can be part of a campaign message, depending on whether or not they will persuade voters. But they should not be confused with the message. A simple statement that will be repeated over and over throughout the campaign to persuade your target voters. This is why I am saying, the way I started my presentation, I targeted a certain sector, the university students. I know there are over 23,000 students there, which can even constitute a constituency. And I am targeting those people to understand what they, to show them how they should be interacting, how they should be involved in our political system to raise awareness. I've picked certain things to say, look, we can't hear about Triple C on ZBC. We can't hear about Triple C on TV or on radio, which we are supposed to be hearing about. President Chamisa going live on television, selling his product Triple C, going live on radio station, being asked, what do you want to offer to the people of Zimbabwe? We can't hear that. But we have got a university of Zimbabwe where law is studied. The constitutional law is studied there. People, they graduate there come there as doctor, with doctorate degrees, with the master's degree, with the undergraduate degrees of law. These people will be our constitutional lawyers. But at the moment are so quiet, are not involved in this campaign to say we want to hear every Zimbabwean on TV, on a radio station. You understand? Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier on or yesterday, there are two important things you need to remember about voters. The first is what is important to them, and the second is what their source of information is. Let's remember these two things. What is important to the voters today, and what is their source of information. And if we target that, we reach them. Ndachema ndichinzwa mwe munhu andifonera akati ndandiri kumaruzevha avanhu vasomboziva kuti kune political party nyowani vari kuziva MDC. Ndikanzwa hopo chimwe ndandiri kwamurewo, vanhu vari kwamurewo havasomboziva chii chinonzi Triple C, vari kutoziva chii chinonzi MDC. You understand? That means we are failing to identify what is important to those people in the rural areas, what is important or what is their source of information, so that we reach them. This is what we need to do now. Ashibatsire kuti ndoya live on Facebook, Shepherd Judah. I will be talking to the same people here, talking about Triple C. This is why I always say, guys, every time when I start making a presentation, why can't you tag a lot of people so that we spread the message? Some people were complaining, Shepherd, we cannot sit for 3 hours listening. We get tired. We sit down. Because you'll be talking and talking. So what we need is now, is if you can cut from 3 hours to 1 hour, then send an effective message. We can help cut those messages and send them to the people so that they understand what we have or what we are doing now. Andiri murugona. Wakomana ere. Wakomana, takushika. Vanhu musaneta takushika. Izwai muzi.
Yana sekuru kumamisha. Nehama dzose dzisati dzaziva. Ndine shoko guru randinoda kubudza. Nelson Chamisa wavene bato idzva. Iri danho rakatorwa mushure meku. Paonekwa kuti zita reMDC rakange rasvibiswa nemhandu. Ngonzo rakomichina nakupene vamwe. Saka kana mave kuzoenda kunovhota, munofanira kucherekedza kwazvo chiso chachamisa nemasi matatu pamwe neruvara
rwemabhanana rwamurikuona kumeso kwangu.
Votera Nelson Chamisa,
voterai
pamasi
matatu, voterai
Nelson Chamisa,
voterai ruvara rwemabhanana, voterai
Nelson
Chamisa, voterai pamasi matatu, voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai ruvara rwemabhanana.
musanyengedzwa nebato
Rezano
muchipiwa
Mbeu
nefodera
Dereza
tinoda
Daguti
bato kuti mungozvitengera mega zvamunoda
mozvitengera mega
toresanuraura
ayanyika
muzere mbavha dzinoba zvikuru vanongozvifunga ivo vega momo yenyika
ichikanga waya
kana vouya kwamuri vanonyepa kuti masanction
auraya nyika
nyamba varivo vanouraya
nyika
nekuda kweuori hwavanoita voterai Nelson Chamisa
voterai pamasi matatu voterai Nelson Chamisa voterai paruvara rwemabanana voterai Nelson Chamisa voterai pamasi matatu voterai Nelson Chamisa voterai paruvara rwemabanana. Anditi mazvo ndo zvatiri kutaura, mameseji akadai anosvika kumaruva. Kana asvika kumaruva, imagine kachiplayiwa paZBC, kachiplayiwa paZBC, kachiplayiwa paZTV, kanosvika kure aka. Chembere dzese dzinenge dzakutonzwa kuti karwiyo kanonakidza kari kuti vanoteerera kubva kutoziva kuti alright, kwane bato idzva rakafomwa napresident Nelson Chamisa rinonzi CCC rine ruvara rwemabanana. Bato iri rakafomwa mushure mekunge vanhu vagara pasi vaona madhirama aiitika muMDC, vaona kuti MDC yaurawa nevauyi, yaurawa nevanhu vari kuti chinhu ndechedu, chinhu chisiri chavo. Saka takaona kuti zvemadhirama kwete bodo che tasiyana nazvo. Saka takufamba napresident Nelson Chamisa nebato rine masii matatu. So what it means, if it is a campaign message, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very strong campaign message, very strong campaign message. It's a message which does not tell people what the candidate will do if elected. It is not a list of the issues the candidate will address, and it is not a simple catchy phrase or a slogan. All of these things can be part of the campaign message, depending on whether or not they will persuade voters. This will definitely persuade voters. It's a very strong campaign message. Take a minute to think. What are the most important issues in the average voter's mind? Take a minute to reason. Take a minute to think. Hansi Tinos, give more, Brother Shepherd. Can you send this song in form of an audio so that I can post it to my friends who are in the rural areas? Thanks, Mkomatino. You can send me your digits or your phone number mu inbox mangu. Ndo vandai download the song in form of an audio to kandai iyo spread it. Ngaive pandemic, ngaive COVID-19 song e. Because this is a campaign message that I am talking about. And remember, this is why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a minute, let's think. What are the most important issues in an average voter's mind? Their list of priorities is probably something like the following. I'm going to probably say things that are in the mind of the voters. How are they getting along with their husband, wife, a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever in times of hardships? Makore atira naya, makore ekuti mwana ane 13 years, ane 14 years, akuve sexual abuse nezvidhara izvi, because she has got something in mind. She wants to wear nice shoes. She wants to wear a nice dress. She wants to have money in pocket so that akafamba from here and there, antenga or drink, antenga or something. Things that this kid must be having provided by the parents can't afford. So what is in the voters' mind at this juncture? How are they getting along inside their house? A husband and wife, a boyfriend and a girlfriend. These are things that we should be understanding in the political message. How are the children or parents doing? What is the relationship between children and parents? Are parents affording to send children to school? Are parents affording to buy food enough for the kids? How is their relationship like? By doing that, we are getting into an average voter's mind. Either in school or life, what type of relationship are the children getting? How are they doing? How are they doing in terms of jobs? Do we have jobs? Sekuroni ziri say mkoma nikich. So you see, how are they doing in their jobs? We don't have jobs in Zimbabwe, but how are they doing in the market? What are they selling? Enough to survive. Quite a lot of things that we should get into an average voter's mind. Or are they getting enough money? How are they getting enough money? These are things, bread and butter issues that we should be sending messages, talking to the people, getting in contact with the Zimbabweans at this juncture. You understand what I mean? How is there, especially if you go, politics is everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Did you watch Hubert Angel? Ashigreda Gwanzura Stadium. Hence, I am going to build Gwanzura Stadium and hand it over to the council in a manner that it will be a mini FNB stadium. This is why I'm saying politics is everywhere. Politics is everywhere. So how is the football team doing in Machipisa? How is your football team doing in Karoya? How is Karoya United performing? Sashepa Diuda. Ndoenda kunogadzirwa mainfomu. Ndodzandoda golden color ine black. Monyora kuti Karoya United moisa kuseruku manamba yakanaka. Ndotengera Karoya United. It costs less than 800 pounds. Totumira kumusha. Kobuda wachinzi golden color ya uyai yatengwa sponsored by CCC people in the United Kingdom. You guys, these are political strategies. When Karoya United ikapfeka team uniform yayo ikatamba, vanenge vachizwanzi vakomana CCC vari United Kingdom, vana Shepherd Yuda vakaita fundraising, vakatengera Karoya United uniform yavakapfeka. It's a campaign message because the people in that area would want to know how their football team is doing. And you are correct, but munhu wese ana hama nevana ngavabude vanoregister kuvhota. Ndo zvatikutaura emukoma Mateo. Saka tichitaura kuti tag them here. Let them hear me speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, ndakataura ndikati at this juncture there is no any other Zimbabwean dedicated so much into teaching and preaching politics in our country. Munhu wese is thinking of dumbu rake. Munhu wese is thinking about his family. Muri yangu inodyei. Dumbu rangu. But I am spending this time, precious time, trying to educate Zimbabweans to see, especially these campaign messages are very important. This is why I am saying kutenga uniform yebhora chaiyo. Last time ndaitaura nyaya yamudhara kuenda. Saka zvatiri kuda ndakataurira vanhu ndikati mukaenda kumusha kwaMuzimu vanhu vataura kuti unofirei, vakuenda vakapfurwa vakabviswa gumbo. Unofira chii? A lot of people came with offers. Tikataura kati ngativake a 2-bedroomed house kana a 3-bedroomed house, a very cheaper one. Zvidhina tinozviwana very cheap. Kurungodiwa cement chete roofing sheets kana tenga asbestos kana chete ndo zvingodiwa. Totsvaga munhu anotiitira kaplan kemba yakanaka. Tikaraisa 3,000 pounds or 3,000 US dollars tinovaka imba yamudhara kwenda. Toisa maroofs akanaka, toisa floor yopendwa zvakanaka, toti baba ndozvamaitirwa nevana venyu veZimbabwe. You find kuti vanhu vari kumaruwa pavanopfuura vanenge vachiti imba yakavakwa nematriple C. Mudhara kwenda akapisirwa imba akapfurwa akabviswa gumbo, but chitarisai akavakirwa imba yakanaka, haagunun'una, agara panhu pakanaka. Something that we need to do. These are very simple projects that we can do anytime. This is a campaign message. Building that house is a campaign message. It's a strategy that we know. And let's give ZANU-PF another 5 years, guys. Kutenga uniform yeteam yebhora hakusi kuvaka nyika. Ndo kuvaka nyika kwacho. Because if you buy that uniform, football uniform, it's not about, it's a message, campaign message sent to that team, to those people, to say vote Triple C. Because there is nothing that we need to vote ZANU-PF. We have been with ZANU-PF for 43 years. They've done nothing for us. They've done nothing for the people of Zimbabwe. Kushika pomba mchabudi mvura magetsa akuchina. Nzira dzese amapotholes. Giving them 5 more years, rinenge radongo nyika yadongo. Vanhu vese vari kutiza nyika. Andimona, vanhu vese vari kutiza nyika. So this is the time we give them marching orders. They must stand there and see vana vadiki vachivaka nyika. Believe me, if Chamisa become president of that country, within 5 years you see change. See what happened in Rwanda. There is change in Rwanda. A great change in Rwanda. And Zimbabwe should be better than Rwanda. Rwanda doesn't have any resources like Zimbabwe. This is the time ZANU-PF must go. We have given them enough time. 43 years is not a joke. And in that 43 years, Mwanaka Zharwa 1980 hasn't worked. Hatozive chinonzi pay slip. So this is time to get rid of ZANU-PF. Let's get rid of ZANU-PF. By getting rid of ZANU-PF, we need to know the important issues in the average voter's mind. I was talking about you guys asking the local people in Karoi, in Kariba. We've got ZPC in Kariba, which is in the Premier League right now. How is your team doing? Politicians must be able to do that. A message sent to ZPC, Kariba. Kuti tatenga mabhora goisa isterek akanyorwa kunzi triple seeded. And why do they keep losing? And will they be able to see the next game? What is their favorite celebrity starring in next, and when can they see it? Last time ndakaenda ku London, pandakaenda na Shinyanga paipai. There is a trophy in London that I want to buy. That trophy costs 75 pounds. And Chamisa akambotonga imwe ipi yamunofunga kuti is going to make Zimbabwe great. Ndo zvatiri kumudira Choko. Tiri kumudira kuti haana kubva amboona utongi humwe. Saka kana achinga apinda ukaluta nyika unovharira. And mari will be put to good use. All those people we thought had capacity to run Zimbabwe, they have failed. This is why we are saying we need Chamisa. We need Chamisa right now. Because the country has got resources. But the resources are being looted. When ZANU-PF vanonyarana, they can't arrest each other. We have seen the drugs scandal. We have seen the Willowville scandal. Munagaba Motkar, the Willowville scandal. Frederick Shower is back in government now. You understand? We don't need thieves in the government. We have seen thieves. Like one of Frederick Shower, they are back in the government to loot again. They looted Willowville scandal. They were involved in Willowville scandal. So all those ZANU-PF people who were in these scandals are back fully in government. So we are going nowhere. with those type of people. Shiri nemuriro wayo hairege njiva kukurui kukurui. Awuichinjise kurira kwakadaro. Once a thief, always a thief. So what we are saying here is we need President Nelson Chamisa. When Chamisa comes to power, he will send you to prison straight away. As I am speaking right now, Frederick Shaw was supposed to have served a prison term. He was pardoned for looting Willowville. By now he should have been arrested and sent to prison for rape allegation that was raised Nana Susan Mtami. But because no one can arrest him, they are scared of arresting him. You understand? So we don't want that. We want a country where the people or the laws of a country take center stage. We don't want a country with the powerful people. We want a country with the powerful laws, powerful constitution. If you steal, you go to prison. If you rape, you go to prison. If you loot, you go to prison. Ndakanzwa Temba Mliso achitotaurira Philip Chiangu akamuti urikutoenda kujeri. Urikutoenda kujeri with all your scandals. You are going to prison. This is the country that we want. But Idi Mnangagwa has even failed. This is why we are saying we want President Chamisa now. When they removed Gabriel Mugabe, they said they are targeting thieves around Mugabe. Until now, we have never seen any of the thieves arrested and sent to prison. Instead, they have put more thieves than what Mugabe had. So there is nothing that we can give ZANU-PF 5 years for. Who is going to vote for them? Who is going to vote? Munda choko. Munda aushamisire mfesi wangu. Let me tell you. Munda aushamisire. When we grew up, takakurira mapraz. Tukayone mapraz evanhu vaive farms avo. It's not that every Zimbabwean can be a farmer. I always tell ZANU-PF people that this is a mistake which was done by ZANU-PF. To think that every Zimbabwean wants to be a farmer. Now people in Mtoko are farmers. They have been doing tomatoes before independence, and until now they are doing tomatoes. We have been doing tobacco. Isusu takapuwa minda mirefu kudara se. Kuma 1982, we were given land kuma 1982. Tikapuwa resettlements minda mirefu. Tairimirwa ne DDF tractor mahara chirima. Chikowa tichita se. Munda is not something that we can be proud of. Because Munda, Munda needs to be processed. A country needs industry. If you tell me that Zimbabwe is industrializing, then ndakutanga kuziva kuti matanga economy. Now you are talking of land without industries. It does not help you. Munorima mapfunde, munorima sunflower, amuna kana machine yekunoashina. Kana maashina amuna nyika dzamunoatengesera. You understand? You are doing nothing. So this is why we see ZANU-PF failed. This is why we say it failed. Instead of them looking at industry, come to UK, come to England, and you see. Let me drive around on Friday and show you industries in this country. Their industries produce more than their farms. They don't need anything from the farms. They have got industries. Vakakupai tractor one. Vanotora minda yenyu yese iri muZimbabwe. Chikafu chamakarima chese chozara muno. Muno mutine mabhini azere nechikafu. Mikaka yekuraswa muno. Because mune a strong or a heavy industry. This is why you see Britain chose to Brexit. Because they know that they have got heavy industry. They industrialize this country more than any other European country. Ma BMW aigadzirwa kunana Germany. Biggest plant yacho yamuno mu UK. So you find UK is the major producer of fine goods, which are being sold in Europe and abroad and all. Saka minda is not something that we can be proud of. Because we have been doing farming. We grew up doing farming. And we are dying now doing farming. And when you do farming, zvacho hakuna kwazvinoenda. Fodya iri kurimwa kuZimbabwe now vakuti substandard. Kuno kunana UK vakatobhana kubhema fodya. Haicharimwi, havachabhemi, vazhinji vakusiya kubhema. You have got no market at all. Chibage chamuri kutorima kuZimbabwe chinobva kuAmerica. It's a Mexican plant yakabva kuAmerica. If tikaita nzara topuwa food aid naAmerica. Saka chibage mukachirima mochitengesera ani. I've got a lot of questions to people who thought agriculture would probably support our economy. Instead, we were supposed to have industrialized our country for the past 41 years. Now we have got everything. Tinemunda. Chibage ukachirima, America haitenge chibage. Britain haitenge chibage. They don't buy that chibage chamozhga kuZimbabwe. They don't buy it here. They don't buy it here. Kwa America vandorima more than chibage than what we do in Zimbabwe. Saka fodya kuno wakatobhana vanhu vachabheme fodya vakubhema zvima e-ciga. Unoitengesera ani fodya? Andiona hakuna chiriko. Tairima chibage chaiche tichizadza matura wana Lions Den. If you know Choco, go to Urungwe today. Go to Urungwe today. Go to Urungwe. We have got silos. Panonzi pamagunje. Tinema largest silos pamagunje. We've got silos kwakazangarari. We've got ma silos mukaroi. We've got ma silos pa Lions Den. In that small Mashonaland West area, within 30 miles, pane ma silos about 4-5 ma silos aripo. Taizadza ese. Kwazona kwakazovakwa masilo kwakazangarare. It's because tatakushaya kwekuendesa chibage chedu chachakazara kubhangeti. Niko akazadza. Niko aita akazadza payo enda unozadza kuLions Den toshaya pekuisa chibage. Tatozopesera takuenda. Saka takavaka masilos kwakazangarare. Kune masilos kumagunje. I don't think you know this. Kuti Urungwe is probably the only area mZimbabwe ine masilos ari close akawanda. I don't think you understand this. Anyway, it's something that you learn. Ndo zvakanakira kuya pano. Saka chitaura kuti mazanu PF vakazhinji vanoswera pano. They've learned a lot pano. I teach them. They've learned a lot. It's not about land. 21st century economy is not centered to land. It's centered on industry. If you are a country without industry, that is it. You are beggars. You die beggars. With the vast pieces of land, you will be begging. Like what we do in Zimbabwe. We are dying beggars with the vast pieces of land, arable land. We are beggars. We must have industry. That's being primitive. That's true. That's being primitive. But he's talking about Mbuyaneanda, land. It's not about issue of land today. It's about industries. What you produce in your industries. Andirugona. Ndosaka uchiona maChina akauya kuZimbabwe vanotakura black granite kana vanotakura diamonds. Wosvika kugadzira. Alright, I'll show you video andinayo. I still have that video in my phone. A diamond ring is costing about 12,000 pounds muno mu UK. 12,000 pounds. Diamond running abva naro kuZimbabwe ne-pound. Wosvika kugadzira ring roita 12,000 pounds. Oritumira kuZimbabwe kunoritengesa. Vanotenga ana Grace Mugabe vane mari. 12,000 pounds yapinda mu UK. Zimbabwe yakawana pound. So what I'm saying is industry is better than having vast pieces of land, arable land, which is lying dormant in our country. Anyway, so let me go into what I was talking about, what voters care about and how they get information. The message that I've been playing here. Let me play that same message again for Zimbabweans to understand what I'm talking about.
Vanambuya nana sekuru kumamisha Ea dzose zisati dzaziva Ine shoko guru randinoda kubudzai Nelson Chamisa wave nebato itsva Iri danho rakatorwa mushure mekunge paonekwa kuti zita reMDC rakange rasvibiswa nemandu ngonzo rakomichina nakupe nevamwe saka kana mave kuzoenda kunovhota munofanira kucherekedza kwazvo chiso chachamisa nemasi matatu pamwe neruvara rwemabanana.
Andini manzwa. So this is the campaign message, very strong campaign message I am talking about. People of Zimbabwe, they understand this. They understand this. So it's all up to the candidates and their campaign workers to spend hours and hours, days and days, months and months, thinking about what I am talking about, doing something about this campaign so that we take Chamisa to State House. Voters will give you a minute or two of their precious time to listen to you. Do not waste that time. Voters are very important people. Don't waste that time. Remember, voters are bombarded with information every day. ZANU-PF is a Hondo Minda and so forth, which does not work. Voters, they get news on television and radio. They get reports at work, they get advertisements all the time. And they hear that juicy piece of gossip about the neighbor down the street. Candidates, you must think. Candidates, you must reason. Campaign managers must think, they must reason. That their competition is the other person running for the same office. So if you are a triple C candidate, you must understand that there is another candidate who is running, who is getting into the competition with you. So your campaign message has a breakthrough that thick wall of other information being dished by ZANU-PF. You understand? So what we need is to try and sell our idea to the electorate. Try and sell our president to the electorate. We will definitely romp to victory. Because what is being said here, you should have greatest respect of voters. ZANU-PF, you understand, like Ngonizashe Choko, my friend here, whatever he is saying here, he doesn't have respect of voters. Because this is why I said, this is why ZANU-PF always lose elections and result in violence. Because what he is saying here lacks respect of people who can vote. He should be telling us why we should give ZANU-PF 5 more years. You understand? After giving ZANU-PF 43 years in power, someone is advocating for 5 more years without any reason, without critical reasoning to say, look, ZANU-PF needs 5 more years to do this that they failed to do in the 45 years that they got. So this is lack of respect. Exactly what I was saying yesterday, that this type of thinking does not bring voters. It does not win votes to ZANU-PF. Sometimes ZANU-PF must be chasing away some other people with you are valueless. Because if you go live on Facebook, say give ZANU-PF 5 more years without explaining why, reason why, then you are lacking what it calls a campaign message to the people of Zimbabwe. The people of Zimbabwe can see through an insincere message quicker than the politician can say it. Already, if you see my learned colleague here is receiving replies from people because his message is insincere. This is why you see, I say ZANU-PF people or Varakashi, Kashinji Kacho, they are their own enemies. They don't know how to persuade voters. If you go talk about giving ZANU-PF 5 years, then you start talking about land. Unfortunately, you are not doing any favor to ZANU-PF because Zimbabweans grew up in rural areas with vast pieces of land. And they have been doing well in those small plots. And didn't want. So this is why you see now the president of Zimbabwe, what I'm saying is Emmerson Mnangagwa does not have a campaign message, a strong campaign message to win an election. This is why you see all odds are falling. People are telling him that 2023 you are going to get your marching orders because he doesn't have a message to the voters. He has got nothing to lie about now. He lied a lot in 2018. To the extent that when people saw nothing happening, they protested and he dared to shoot them and kill them. Shooting and killing people is not a campaign message. It's a decampaigning period. Whoever advised Mnangagwa to use military force against the people of Zimbabwe who were demonstrating, rather than coming to the people and asking, what is your problem? How best do you want me to help you? I am your leader. You elected me. Instead, he chose military power, deployed soldiers, killed those people. That is not a campaign message at all. So whoever advised Mnangagwa to do that made a very big blunder. He made a very big blunder. And that blunder will haunt Mnangagwa to his defeat. You understand? So that was a very insincere message to say, go shoot, go gun them down. Go gun them down. That was a very big blunder which was made by Mnangagwa. So what I am saying is a campaign message characteristics must have characteristics of a good message. There are a number of criteria that make up a very strong message, ladies and gentlemen. A message must be short. Did you listen to this? Did you listen to this piece of music? To this piece of music? A very good campaign message, very short and precise. Telling people, Kumaruzeva, could get ready for a political party ya President Nelson Chamisa ine masi matatu neruvara rwebanana. Vatopedza. Musanyengerwa neZANU-PF kuti chakupai maelangeni masipo, chakupai sipo dzekuti ukageza unokuta mapundu uchivaviwa. Tiri kuda mabasa ekuti mugone kuzozvitengera mega sipo. If ZANU-PF is defeated, Triple C comes to power, you will notice one thing. That those people who were used to be given can now afford to buy themselves geisha. Aucha gesene elangeni, wakuwachisa mahovorosi elangeni. You can buy 10 bars of elangeni than one rawaipu ane ZANU-PF. So what I'm saying here is, if ZANU-PF goes, pawaipiwa 1 bar esipo, you'll be buying 10 bars of soap. Pawaipiwa kutenga geisha nemafuta anonhuhwirira ekuzora, unonga wakuzvitengera wega mafuta ekuzora. Ndakamboshanda kuChipinge prison. Let me tell you. Ndakamboshanda kuChipinge prison. Kwa neshamwari yangu unozakana mushanda mese magadjere anowirirana. Boss kwatotrainwa isusu. Totrainwa zvezve kunzi akuna mugadjere ari wrong. Kana ari wrong ndozomudza takuseruku. You're wrong you. But pavanhu tunga chinhu chimwe chete chekuti ukatoona unofunga kuti vana vemunhu umwe chete. Ndave neshamwari yangu ipapo achataura zita rake ndingamupinza patight. But aiti kana agara akafarisa aida yaibva atanga kuti akadhakwa anonzwa ro kuti koruti urumboti chiko bhururu zvikanzi Yudha kati zvikanzi uri kuona vakadzi ava hanzi ngoma mukutaura chokwadi amen. Thank you Mbonizi. Zvikanzi na bhururu wangu hanzi uri kuona vakadzi ava Shepherd ndikati zvikanzi hakuna mukadzi akashata. Ndikati ukurevei? Zvikati ndiri kukutaurira chokwadi. Ndakaroora mukadzi wandaifunga kuti akanakisisa. Kembi yese ikamira ikati ho kuti yawauya nemukadzi akanaka. Hanzi taiti kana takwenda kunorara namai mwana waiti ukabata skini yawo iyi yaitange igarwe kuita mazivara mazipundu kuita chimusana wese. Hanzi ndakapedzisira ndamutarisa ndikati fesi yakanaka, but ganda randiri kubata ndo ganda randoda kubata iri. Zvikanzi hatina kumboita mwedzi ndaroora ndakanobvisa keshi ndikabva ndata kuti mai mwana rovai pasi ndobva tarambana. Handobva ndaroora mwe mukadzi. Hanzi mai vangu hanzi vanhu vaiti vakatarisa kuti shuwa wakaramba denga uchitora mukadzi akashata kudai unopenga here. Zvikanzi ndikabata ganda rake was so soft. Ndikati ho zvikanzi ndikati ureve zvikanzi ndakazopesera ndakuenda zvezvekuti mukadzi ka ndio unotomunakisa. Vanhu vaiona mukadzi akashata yeye. Pandakaenda ndikatanga mutengera hembe dzakanaka, ndikamutengera mafuta, ndikati bleach awo mukadzi wangu, ndikamutengera aita akageza akaspray so akafamba. Vanhu vakapesera kuti mai vakanaka. Andiri kuona. Saka sometimes tinoramba takaita stick on zvinhu zvakaita seMDC nemadrama ayaita, but tisingazive kuti kushata kwatiri kunzi takashata kutriple C uku, tikazvigezesa tikazvitengera zvinhu zvedu zvakanaka tikafamba tikafirita tikanhuhwira, vanhu unonzwa vakutaura kuti iri ndo bato iri. Andiri kuona. Saka zvakwauri now that our message to the people of Zimbabwe must not long-winded. It must be just a short. Ndarakwana. Raymond Maguyana yazi ndarakwana. Chokwadi chorwadza ambore. Ndiri kutaura chokwadi Ray. Shamwari yangu yaripo kuchipinge uku. Handizoda kushandira kupi mazuva ano. Mukadzi wake wakasiya wacho iwa ndiri kutaura iye. Taiti kamuona soka tiri paparade. Pai patonzi parade cha by the right. Quick march up right up. Tofamba pa left right. Waiti ukavaona mai vavo vachipfuura soka. Word of command unorikanganwa wakamutarisa mukadzi akanaka iye. Pai pamunonzi right wheel auteneded. Unonorovera kugedhi uri boom uri ndiwe maka nekutarisa chete. Saka shamwari yangu yakataura zvikanzi hakuna mukadzi akashata. Mabatiro anoita mukadzi wako ndo anokuratidza kuti mukadzi wako akanaka. Unomutengera mafuta kana ari mutema mubhiriche, womutengera zvekufafadzira zvekunhuhwira, womutengera madresi anomufita. Anditi kwete kukwachikira. Isusu kukare kuprison taiti hanzi munhu akwachikire uniform, unoadjusta uniform kuti ikufite. Ozo vanhu vachifamba ukafamba vanhu vanoti ava ndiofisa. Andoona. Saka zvakafanana nemudzimai wako. Unomuchenesa zvaunoda iwewe. Umutengera hembe yakanaka zvoti kana achifamba apa vanoti kuti uyu mukadzi akanaka. Andiri kuona zvataita. Saka zvakafanana nepolitical party. Political party yakaita seZANU-PF hauchakwanisi kuipfekedza kuti ifamba apo wobva wataura kuti hayi ndo political party yakanaka. Hazvichaiti kuzanu. ZANU-PF ndo vakadzi vane maskini ati kutaura kuti ukapuruzira so utange uri kubata garwe. Anditi waona nyaya ati kutaura. Saka zvakuda izvo kuti messages edu atinosenda to the people of Zimbabwe must be short and precise, not long-winded political messages. Amaswera gogowa Eden murise. Murise. So if you cannot effectively deliver your message to a voter in less than 1 minute, then you will surely lose the voters. You will surely lose the voters' attention and probably the vote. Message and play right. Okay, play is less than a minute, but it has got everything. Mine unusually says Zanu yaora. Ayaora Zan taora akwanza yangu. Zanu yaora. Yaora baba. Yao Zanu yaora baba yaora. Baba yaora. Baba hanzu kudhara taiba ukafambidzana na Mugabe anokutorera mukadzi. Yaora Zanu. Chinhu chaora chiya andi muri kunzwa. Ukaona munhu anouya achitaura kuti pay 5 years without elaborating, you are not doing a favor to ZANU-PF. The people of Zimbabwe no longer want anything to do with the ZANU-PF. And so, a message, ladies and gentlemen, when we are planning this campaign message to the people of Zimbabwe, let's make sure that that message must be truthful and credible. This is why you see a lot of people say, if you go on social media, if you want a platform where truthful and credible information is given, join Shepherd Yuda at 8 o'clock every day and listen to what Shepherd Yuda say. This is where I've taught myself to say, look, every time if I go live on Facebook, I am going to say things that Zimbabweans do not like to hear. I am going to say sweet things to the people of Zimbabwe. But let the truth reign. Let the truth reign. Let the information that I give Zimbabweans be credible. Ask, this is insult to the why wakazi ZANU vane makanda egarwe. It's not, I'm not saying wakazi choko. Get my message right. I am saying good ZANU-PF yakafana nemukadzi ane musana wegarwe. Kuti ukabata ganda rake hachanakidzi kubata. Kunyange akanaka sei hachaiti mukadzi. Andiona. Saka taane munyowani. Watiri kubleacha totengera zvese hapachikiri totopfekedza hembe dzakanaka totengera. Hanzi beshure nhenguru. Alule genga. Alule genga. Ndinaye wangu genga. Ndinaye wangu genga. Aripo arikubindura. Arikubindura. Aneka beshuke nengure. Yuda nyaya yema affidavit iriku ti vanhu varegister commission of oath anoda $2 todi. Very good issue. Yema $2 iyoyo. Tinogona kubatsira vanenge vasina varegister. Tinogona kubatsira. $2 is not much. Tinogona kubatsira. As because majority majoke. Andimbomirira diniwe. Andimbomirira diniwe. Andimbomirira chivure. Andimbo chivure ndinaye wangu baba. Ndinaye wangu genga. Ane kadino kake. Ane kadino kake. Kakati kwirire dzakire. Kwirire dzakire. Kanenge besure gwenure. Besure gwenure, kanenge besure gwenure, kanenge besure gwenure. Ndimbo mirira chihure, andimbo mirira diniwe, andimbo mirira diniwe. Mirira diniwe, alule genga, alule genga. Ndinaye wangu genga, ndinaye wangu genga. Aneka dino kake, aneka dino kake. Kakati kwirire dzakire. Tikwirire dzakire kanenge besure gwenure ngebesure gwenure andimbomirira diniwe. Unobvonza kuti chochocho anoza kutapirirwa genga. Dirihora iro vanogara mudiriwo dirihora rembanje vanogara mudiriwo dirihora iro vanogara mudiriwo dirihora rembanje nogara mudiriwo vakomana vanogara mudiriwo dirihora rembanje vanogara mudiriwo usatambe navo vanogara mudiriwo dirihora rembanje vanogara mudiriwo dirihora vakomana dirihora rembanje iro dirihora iro vanogara mudiriwo dirihora rembanje vanogara mudiriwo vakomana vanogara mudiriwo dirihora rembanje vanogara mudiriwo usatambe navo vanogara mudiriwo dirihora rembanje vanogara mudiriwo dirihora vakomana dirihora rembanje dirihora vakomana dirihora rembanje vanogara mudirihora. Asi zuvari yeri chingobuda moyo moyo wangu wadzungaira, moyo chena usandicheme ndoenda ndoga. Apa ukama wakauraya, ndiwe wakauraya, ndiwe wakauraya, hazvina mhosva. Apa ukama zuvari richingobuda, moyo wangu wadzungaira, moyo chena usandicheme ndoenda ndoga. Apa ukama pakaipa. Ladies and gentlemen, tikatafunga morari nai hanziko. Sasa mgadza. Zviri sei? Ndiri palive baba, ndichakufonera ndapedza samgadza. Aiwa, haisi ponzi. Andimuona kayelo here, kayelo baba kari ku new party kai. Aiwa, kayelo kacho kakangouya naturally kega baba, because vatamisa pa vakangota triple C vakabva vati yellow color. Andimo skin yangu yakabva yachinja kuita yellow yega. Aiwa, hapana chandakazora baba kana. Amona kana ndikanotena face yangu kudai so. Hapana chirumbona. Yellow inokoramba iripo ichireflecta yega. God is... Eh? Aiwa. Oraiti. Aiwa, sashoitaka. Because iyi political party nyowani ka baba mgadzi. Saka political party nyowani ikaika aina muridzi. Ipati yevanhu veZimbabwe. Andimaona. Saka ndeye kuti kana vanhu vanga vari kuZanu vaya, vamwe vanga vari kupi vanhu vakungouya vachipinda vachijoina, boss hapana ndati hey isusu takazoboda hey sakadi, boss it's a new entity baba. Saka iri kungotora chero munhu chero. Kana vanani haisi nguva yekuti hatisiri kuMDC kototaura kuti kutotanga munhu wese ari kutotanga ipapa. Saka haina basa yekuti hey ndiri founder member 1999 ndindakazoita zvakati, haina mbiri iyoyo baba. Vakadawo kuenda kualliance wakaenda, but ma structures edu takangoita zvekuti handimosa rebranding baba. Kana mchita rebrand motikari yenyu zvakafanana neX5 yangu ndikada kuita rebrand handipwanye X5 yes. Aiyo, ndinongonochinja 1 2 3 4 things ikafamba pa unondoona kuti this guy is a rebranded car handiti. Saka ndo zvatiri kuita izvozvo. Tichatanga exactly, tichatanga kuenda pasi futi todaidza vanhu vese uyai takuda new executive yetriple C.
Ndo zvino zvandaenda kubvunza kuti ko vana nhingi kurati vana arudzani vana vashenwa havasisiri maautomatic vice president vese vanhu vane zvinzvimbo here kudhara kwaalliance
vari pama-acting capacity. Boss takaita rebrand vari pama-acting capacity. Munhu wese ari pa-acting capacity. Boss pane mukana wekuti vamwe vari kuti hatisi kuda kupinda kutriple C, vakuda kuenda kusarana naMonzora, vari kuenda ivavo hatina basa navo. Saka tichauya chatozongoita totanga kuti taakuchitanga manje, taakuenda kukongresi yedu, taakuenda kuelectorate vedu, taama-structures edu zvotogadzira zvove in order, and we must do that before 2023 election.
Soon after special by-elections.
Exactly.
Osaka Congress before next year.
Yeah, I suspect so kuti unofanira kutoitwa kuti zvinhu zvacho zvitapire baba.
Yeah, otherwise zvaindinetsa kuti saka vana mawashington vanaditirese vakangoita automatic mavice president
takaita rebrand saka munhu wese nechinzvimbo chake chaanga akabata triple alliance akangosara akabata chinzvimbo chake ichocho at the moment until tanyatsogadzisa taisa house yedu in order.
Uyu mfana hasisiri leader wemanyuti naye uyu wenyu weharzan ndakutenda pandaiona vhidhiyo imwe chizi chimbiri ndeayuti commander ndeai in charge of youth.
Upi baba agod
handiti mamuna ostalios
Ostalos spokesperson akajoina na maheri
uyu mumfana wainzani futi
obey
wenyu
aripo
kochimbira anopinda pati musikana wayo
vana Sicilia vari zvinoitika vamwe vari kuprovince vamwe vari kunational ka
okay
kuti tine Harare province tine national
I see but baba yelo inokudai zvototi dai makurunzi izvo zvirikubuda apa pavhidhiyo ndozvamuri made muchitonetsa kana kutoenda mamagazini muchiadvertisa kunana next mahemboko zvebhora masports jes
yelo yandibvuma ka yelo yandiri
atinge vanhu vari kukuudzai handiti
aiwa inini ndega ndonoshamisika ndakagara panapa kuti wai ndiri kubuda ndakaita yelo because ndikasimuka panapa kubva palight randiri rino iri ndofunga itaipe yelight iri kundita yelo god is in it baba handizvi
inini pokutanga ndatombofananiswa kuti ndime here pakutofananisa kuti ndime here
hei saka ndichanetswa nevakadzi murodhu manje vakazondora ndisiri pane yellow light iroro vanhu vanoti noenda back to square one mapundo anenge akuoneka pakaipa ari kuyarini dhuterere april ndiri munane february march ndokwanisa kuya because ndichaona ndenichite because course yanduta ise 6 weeks course saka ndopedza muna march
ndakazoti lembe musangano kulidzi
tingodaro mazuva ano because ndane time ndisiri kuenda ndatisinganzwe zvakanaka pamwe ndosaka ndachinja kuita yelo aiwa ndirikuita chirikavha manje because problem yacho yanga iri pandakaita covid paipai ndakapinda patrial saka ndaenda patrial pane mushonga wakandiramba saka wanga wandikanganisa liver saka ndiri kupota ndichienda mumachecks saka I can't drive for a long journey ndikaona munhu anondibatsira kudrive ane nditori bo I can't drive for a long journey ndo problem yangu aiwa moza tiri vana vajohani kati tiri vana vajohani tinofamba namanuwero tinofamba nemuchinjiko tiko nenyika handiti maona alright baba god hanzisitai gaga rikaiti dambure nai tozotaura alright mwana wamai alright thanks tiri vana vajohani tinofamba nemuchinjiko tinofamba namanuwero kuti tikone nyika right ladies and gentlemen sorry painterruptwa vada kubvunza hanzi ndakazora chii kumeso handimuka kana maoko angu ndikadai so they are not turning yellow ndikasvika padhuzo dai I'm not yellow but ndikanga ndakadistant ndatena yellow this means God is in it handina kuzora anything kumeso kana ndikaya padhuze munonyazoona face yangu haina kuzorwa anything but ndikangoenda away from my phone a bit pakutoreflecta kayellow you can tell ndikadai pakutoreflecta kayelo naye zvoreva kuti mwari varikuda kuti paridze shoko guru reyelo. Saka zvandachitaura pa ladies and gentlemen, ndachitaura nyaya yekuti a message must be truthful and credible. The message needs to come from the values, practices and the history of the candidate. Macandidates atinawo ari kupinda musa 26 March macandidates amune nhoroondo nawo. Macandidates ekuti kana mukamira apa munotaura kuti Caston Mateo, Bondo, Charlton Wende, Gabuza. Ava macandidates enyu amunoziva. You know your candidates, you know their history, you know how they were recalled from parliament, and you had chosen them. And you need to put these people back in parliament so that they continue to represent you. It can not be inconsistent with the candidate's background, ladies and gentlemen. In addition, your message should be believable. This is why you see we have got Triple C, a political party that every Zimbabwean now is believing in. A very important person. I'm not going to delve into who this Mgadza is or who he is, but so what we understand is we have got believable candidates. We've got candidates who make realistic promises. ZANU-PF has made unrealistic promises which simply wanted to defraud Zimbabweans of representation, but it created voter apathy. If you look at a lot of people now, we're saying, election voter ZANU, but now you have got a political party that is believable, with the candidates that give you realistic hope to say we are going to romp to victory. Voters must believe what you say. What I'm saying here is, I'm talking to you, ladies and gentlemen, here. You are the voters. And what I'm saying here is the truth, is credible truth, which you also know. And I'm not saying anything new here that you don't know. I am saying things that you guys believe in, things that you have seen with your eyes, things that you have heard with your ears, both about yourself and what you will do. So it is therefore critically important to back up these statements or these messages with the evidence. We have got proper evidence of what these members of parliament in the MDC did to Zimbabwe. A very good example, if we don't talk about MDC, but we talk about the people we had got President Nelson Chamisa. When he was ICT minister, we are talking of evidence and his experience, his knowledge from our personal past. We understand that President Nelson Chamisa was once an ICT minister who taught Mugabe how to maneuver with a mouse. President Nelson Chamisa said, by the end of this term I am a minister, I want all those headmen kumamisha vafudzi vemombe kuti vafonerane, kuti mufudzi wemombe kumusha anenge ane smartphone, ane line, ane airtime, achifonera mwe mufudzi wemombe akumhiru kuti ndire mombe yakada yarasika pano yatori mombe yako. ZANU-PF, they did not believe him because no one had ever initiated that. But by the end of government of national unity, we also the work of President Nelson Chamisa. Today, every Jack and Jill in Zimbabwe has got a cell phone. There's got a cell phone. When Chamisa said this, ZANU-PF thought he was lying. When Chamisa said we are going to have airports in Murewa, where all the farm products will be processed there and flown to outside markets, ZANU-PF thought Chamisa anopenga. But if you go to Murewa today, there is an airport there, which just needs to be developed so that cargo planes land and ferry things going out and sell. Tikona matombo ari kubva kwaMutoko. Matombo ari kubva kwaMutoko ada kunokwidza ndege kuHarare airport. Why can't we have our cargo airport in Murewa, where those stones are just transported to Murewa airport and flown out tichita mari. You understand? So when President Nelson Chamisa said this, ZANU-PF people, they laughed. Because they have never seen it. For the past 45 years, they don't believe that an airport can be constructed in Murewa. But they don't know that there is an airport in Murewa. I've told them that there is an airport in Chinhoyi. ZANU-PF people do not know that. There is an airport in Kadoma. There is an airport in Karoi. There is an airport in Kariba. ZANU-PF people do not know that. You understand? So when we start telling them, we used to see aeroplanes landing in Karoi when we were growing up. Madakota masoja imara, mare pasina airport. So the problem is ZANU-PF, they don't believe things that are believable. This is why we are saying those people who do not believe in themselves, why should we continue to give them more years to ruin our country? By the time they go for 48 years running that country, and we don't need ZANU-PF at all. So saying you understand a problem or issue without demonstrating why or how you understand it is a waste of your time and the voters' time. This is exactly what I said yesterday. That saying give ZANU-PF 5 more years without demonstrating what they achieved in the past 45 years, it's a waste of voters' time. It's a waste of our time. It's a waste of voters' time. ZANU-PF is just buying time, just wasting time, because they got 43 years which they could have put things right and failed. So for someone to come without demonstrating what they achieved in the past 45 years to say give them 5 more years to reach 50 years, it's irresponsible. That will never give votes to the people, to ZANU-PF. And so that is a clear message, and a message must be persuasive and important to voters. What I'm saying here is very important to the people of Zimbabwe. It's very important to the voters. I am talking about topics that are important to target certain audience. This is why I spoke about the investor of Zimbabwe. This is why I'm talking about the youth. Demographically, I'm like targeting the youth to say you are the future of this country. These topics will often be problems that voters face every day in their lives, not issues that politicians think are important to public policy. What I always talk about on this platform are things that give voters a problem on daily lives, a problem that they face daily, not what politicians think. You understand? A politician is talking about land. A politician is talking about winning elections. He is talking about, that is important to a politician. But what is important to the people who are voting today is they want food on the table. They want their children to go to school. They want jobs. This is what they want. This is affecting their everyday life. Not they don't want things that ZANU-PF are saying. They want to be able to buy themselves gesha yekugezesa, life boy yekugezesa, kwete kuya kuzopiwa chimgondi yachinovava choti ukageza unoita mapundu. Chikaenda ku South Africa chimgondi yachinogezeswa imbwa. Dzimwe imbwa dzitogezeswa chimgondi yabozoita mapundu. Ndochiri kupuwa neZANU-PF kumaruzeva. Unoona vakasimudza chielangeni mudenga kudai songe mahovhorosi. And this is not what is important in the lives of the people. The politicians in ZANU-PF, this is what they think is important, but they don't know that we in the CCC, we really understand things that voters face on everyday lives. Not what ZANU-PF think people are. Java unganiza vanhu, but hapana mapurisa. That is an only goal to ZANU-PF. They don't understand that. That's an only goal to ZANU-PF. Java unganiza vanhu watengera Kenya drink nemabhanza akarara. That is an own goal to ZANU-PF. The people of Zimbabwe do not want that. They want jobs so that they can be able to buy themselves Coca-Cola. Lionel Chabuta, John owns Honorable John, you understand? So what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen, voters are more likely to support us if we talk to them about their jobs. about their children's education, about the pension that they will receive when they retire, about their budgets, daily budgets. They want to eat these people. Even though the budget may deal with all of these things, but we need to talk to voters about that. We need to promise them that. As to voter, these days there are washing machines, my dishwashers, my green bar, we need more Triple Sue songs to be produced, definitely. Thanks, Mkoma Steve Jones. I think it's on the way. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to convince the voter that we are the best political party with the best candidates to represent them, and we need to persuade them to do something, namely vote for you. So whatever we're saying here, Mkoma Jones could tine ma dishwashers ku Zimbabwe, wanoda ma dishwashers, tine wanoda ma washing machines. It's gone. Time yekuti wana mai vaiswera marwizi vachikwiza vachirovera maovhorosi pamatombo kuti dzichene. Zvakapfuura kudhara. ZANU-PF is maintaining that status quo which people of Zimbabwe do not want. By now, ingadai so ku Zimbabwe, a good example, if you come to the UK, let me tell you one thing. If you come to the UK, I came to the UK myself. I claimed asylum. I was granted asylum in this country. Guess what? When I was granted asylum, there were people who came to me. There were organizations which came to me. The Stockton Town Council came to me. All these people, they came to me and say, congratulations, we heard you have been granted asylum in this country. So we are giving you a 3-bedroom house that I've never owned in my life. When I was living in a camp, we were sharing a 2-bedroom house. 2 families sharing 2-bedroom house. You go in Chikurubi maximum prison camp, you see 3 families sharing a house. But here they came, council came, and they said, look, we are going to give you a 3. How many kids do you have? During that time, I had 3 children. I had 2 children. I had Flora and Clara. Shepherd was still in Zimbabwe. So when they said, okay, fine, we are going to give you a 3-bedroom house. Each child is not allowed to share a bedroom in this country. If you have got another baby, we give you a 4-bedroom house. The house that I'm seated today is a 4-bedroom house because I had another child. So what they said is, akuna mwana ano share bedroom. Akuna mwana ano share bed ni mwe mwana. Kana what share bedroom, let's say in the event they would share bedroom, they must have a banga bed. In this country. The first thing that I got, it was a television set. I was given a television set, a new television set for free. I was given my sofa, leather sofa, for free. Ndikapuwa mari yekunotenga fridge. Ndikapuwa mari yekunotenga washing machine. Vakanditi akuna munhu anowacha ne washing machine. Amubikwe nemoto munomu. So I was given money, a lot of money. I think about 5,000 pounds and ndakapuwa ne council to go and buy household equipment. Pakazoya munhu akauya akati akuna mwana asingabvumirwe, akuna mwana anofana kugara asina computer. They bought me a laptop. In organization they bought me a desktop. Yandakatozorasa recently. Ndakutenga chikwapuro chandinacho. So you will find that that is the type of life Zimbabweans want. Because a government wants to make sure that you have got a television set, you have got a stove, you have got a fridge, you have got masofa pekugara. Uchikafu chaizo chikafu, they gave me food. Uruona, ndaipiwa ma food vouchers, andaipiwa munomu. Ekunzi enda unotenga chikafu ku Asda. Ndaihaya ndipapo nasanda kudriver. Ndaihaya taxi kuzadza taxi nechikafu. Ndaitikasvika ndikazadza fridge ndaigara kuti ndine rain. Andiruona. So you find that ku Zimbabwe Choko, Zimbabwe government, Zimbabwe has got money. Zimbabwe has got money. Since for the past 40 years, when ZANU-PF came to power, all gold mines in Zimbabwe, they never stopped mining. All mines never stopped mining. On top of all the minerals that we had diamonds, which we lost about 15 billion. Nobody knows where that 15 billion went. And that 15 billion was enough to see every Zimbabwean having a television set, having a washing machine, having a stove, having masofa mumba, and having a 2-bedroom house. It was enough, that 15 billion, for every Zimbabwean. But up to today, they can't account for that. So Zimbabwe is a rich country. A very rich country. Very rich. Dr. Zimbabwe can afford to do everything that is being done in England. This is why you see Ian Smith, when he was in power, he was busy building my locations. Vanamabvuku, vanata Highfields, vanakaroi, vanachinoi. My locations esakavakwana Ian Smith. If I ask you which location was built by ZANU-PF 40 years after independence, every town yakavurwa neZANU 40 years, 43 years after independence, nothing. Hakuna kana town for the past 43 years. Tatora isusu governorship of the country. We never built a town. Not even one town was built. And we have got the money. We have got the money. Zimbabwe is one of the richest countries. Zimbabwe is one of the richest countries. It can afford to pay Munwesarum Zimbabwe unemployment benefit. You can afford to pay. But they don't just want. They want to famba Mpinga, vachifamba nema Rolls Royce. In this country, if you see the prime minister of this country, will never drive a Rolls Royce. And I'm not a Boris. Kana chifamba, hafamba ne Rolls Royce. Zimbabwe can afford anything. Uwana motikari dzikutengwa muZimbabwe, munhu anotenga motikari ye1 million. Wotanzi nyika ya haikwanisa kuafoda kuchengeta vana, haikwanisa kuendesa vana kuchikoro. In this country, we send our kids to school. We don't pay school fees. Mwana anaenda grade 1 to year 6. Obva hapo oenda year 7 kusecondary kusvika year 11. Obva hapo oenda kuuniversity. A parent is not paying anything. The state pays. So they've done nothing. Even ZBC chayakasiwa ndeya Smith. No chokwadi. Roads matara akuita matombo makomba akasiwa na Ian Smith. Avana kana road yavakavaka. Vakatraya kuvaka road yekusvika kuBinga vachena neukaroi. It was started in 1985 na nhasi haisati yasvika kuBinga. So you find Britain is a very small country. I think Britain inopinda muZimbabwe twice or not thrice. Very small country. And for someone to tell that we were colonized those people from a very small country, it's irresponsible. It shows how daft those people are, ZANU-PF people are. You understand? So what I'm saying here is this is what I am saying. This is the truth. This is the truth. What I'm saying here is truthful and is credible. Zimbabwe, Britain inopinda 3 times muZimbabwe. But Zimbabwe, Britain haina gold mine. Zimbabwe have got all gold throughout the country. Ma platinum much. Tinema elements ese anodiwa pasi panapa. We are one of the richest countries in the world. But poorly governed. Nosaka matatara chikayelo kamuri kuonaka kakuda triple C. So a message must be persuasive, ladies and gentlemen. A message must be so we were not colonized by Britain. In general, the good part, you are ZANU-PF and you are in the UK. What I'm telling you here, you understand it. You understand it. Pandakauya muno mu UK anaotenga TV. Ndakazotanga kutenga TV yangu ndega, ndaona kuti yandapuwa yaidhara. Ndikatanga kuzotenga yangu TV ndega. General kanyemba ari muno mu UK. In this country you can drive any car you want. And akuna nombokutarisa kuti ufamba nemotikari yakaita sei. But Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of this country, haafambe neRolls Royce. Apa motika dzamuona zviri kudhiraivwa kuZimbabwe dzekuma 3-4 million vanhu vachifamba vachinzi mbinga muZimbabwe muyamwe. Zimbabwe is a rich country. Those mbingas became mbingas because of our natural resources. So this is why I'm saying Zimbabwe can afford anything. If they want to build schools for every child to go to school for free up to university, Zimbabwe can afford that. It has got the money. But the money is concentrated in a few thieves. This is why you see the vakamaisa Mugabe vakati aiwa isusu ngatite sei ngatimaise Mugabe tinyasoba. You understand what I mean? Zimbabwe is a rich country. It can afford anything. The government simply don't want. So this is the message that must be sent to the people of Zimbabwe. This is the message that we should be talking with the people of Zimbabwe. The audience must hear this. These are topics which often look at the problems that the voters face every day in their lives, not issues that the politicians think are important to public policy. Voters are more likely to support us if we talk to them about their jobs, their children's education, their pension, and we must talk about the budget. Even though the budget may deal with all the things that I've mentioned, we must be able to. This is persuasive to the voter. This is what the voters want. Because remember, you must remember, guys, we are trying to convince the voter that we are the best political party in Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF can't do that. For the past 43 years, they have run the country down. They can't persuade voters that they are the best political party in the country. They can't persuade anyone at the moment. You see, because they cannot persuade you to vote for them. What they can only do is initiate violence, shoot you, beat you up, drag you to the voters' roll, and they say, "Isa X abatakatarisa, I showed you." You understand? So voters must make a choice between ZANU-PF and CCC. We need to make it clear to the voters how we are different from ZANU-PF. How our candidates are different from ZANU-PF in any race. If our candidates stand for economic development and social security, then voters will have no way of making the voters will have a clear way of making a choice. If on the other hand we support my 2% tax kuti vanhu vanofanira kuramba vachingoroverwa ma 2% machi mari zichienda muhomwe dzevanhu, filling chiefs pockets, people will never vote for us. This is why you see that 2% tax introduced by Mutuli Ncube has given hardships to the people of Zimbabwe. That was another way of repelling voters, and the people won't vote for ZANU-PF because of that. So when I am speaking, I want you to understand, I want you to listen, guys, because I'm speaking from my heart. I'm talking to your heart. I'm talking to you and your heart. I'm being clear here that when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to your heart. I am touching your heart. This is what exactly a message, a campaign message should be like. I am discussing in a language that is accommodative. Every voter can easily understand English in Zimbabwe. Too often, politicians want to impress the voters with how smart they are, using technical words, and either the voters do not understand or have no real meaning to them. Na honorable Tendai Biti. No doubt, Tendai Biti is one of the most learned politicians in our country. Tendai Biti, anzi taura yako yuda iko cash, you have to pay them kuti ukwanise kutora mari yako, zvinhu zvinorwadza. Tendai Biti munhu akaverenga akadzidza. Unoziva kuti kudzidza kunodadisa because it's your effort. You sit down and put a lot of effort. pandaitaura ndikatendai dzimwe kwatiri kuenda kwana Chambokoko tikunotaura nevanhu vasina kudzidza maningi, who cannot understand your words or your language. Please try to lighten your language so that it becomes meaningful, so that when they hear you they understand what you want to tell them. And so what I'm saying is here, I do not want to make the voting, I was trying to avoid making the voting public to have to work to understand whatever was being talked about. You understand? So creating, sometimes your words, your message must create a visual image in the people. People must see good life coming to them. People must see much better life coming to them by listening to you, by decoding your message. People must see good life coming. Talk about people. Think in real life situations to describe abstract ideas such as economic policy. I liked Tendai BT today. I listened to him last time when he was talking about the economy, how Reserve Bank, wasted that was clear and understandable. No one atoda my leaders atoda vakata sana Tendai BT boss vanoteerera zvamunenge muchivaudza. Adivo nice bareta yuda pakuda re yellow food. The thanks ngoma John. Re yellow askwanika ku UK. Saka mwana kodzokera kune rangu rechidriora yellow haandaishaya. Ndichatry on ngoma John. Kokumboenda opa ningirikini pa internet mongotengera out yuda ndakutengera bareta muningina unza address vana vanhu veZimbabwe vakaomera kuma panoshaka kana wana anonitumira kana t-shirt yakanzi CCC yekuti yuda kana wakuita malive ako shandisa t-shirt yandakutumira, shandisa bharita randakutumira, vanhu varongotenga handina kana mari andiriona but ndichatsvaga ndichaisa effort ndotsvaga andimona. So a message yandiri kuisa panapa, ladies and gentlemen, thanks Choko waona waisa manje akakalaiki keyelo ndozvado kudirai mazano kuti munenge munotoswera tese muchiteerera, the message goes through. I drive the message through. So a message must be targeted. This is why you see Choko now is putting a yellow thumbs up to say yuda ndizvozvo chaizvo uri kutaura andimona is discussed andimona. If your campaign message speaks to everyone, then in reality it speaks to no one. This is a very important message, that if your campaign message speaks to everyone, then in reality it speaks to no one. You must target your campaign message. The people who will vote for you or who will vote for your part are different from those who will not vote for you, and both who will not vote for you, and both groups have different concerns. My brother Ngon here has got different concerns. Shepherd Yuda has got different concerns. So my campaign must determine what these differences are. And addresses message to my supporters. So I've been talking to my brother Ngon. He was talking about land. That is not our priority. This does not give ZANU-PF votes. You talk of land which they distributed in 2020, they just distributed haphazardly. That won't bring votes to ZANU-PF. 3,000 farms, 3,500 commercial farms given to 3,500 people in a country of 14 million people. So that doesn't bring ZANU-PF votes. You understand? It's clear. It's clear. That campaign message must determine what these differences are. And I am addressing an issue here so that my brother Choko understand that 3,000 farms given to 3,000 heavyweight ZANU-PF people cannot bring them votes. After all, they pay farm workers $5 a week, $30. They are saying $30 a month. A farm worker, $30 a month. That will never bring you votes. This is why you see ZANU-PF failed to provide a clear vote or a clear victory. ZANU-PF cannot attain a clear victory in our country, despite being probably the oldest political party in that country. Yuda, tumira bareda jairo, you deserve one. Thank you so much. Mugoma hanza akadzungaira mukoma Ben musatuka wakomana avezano regaiti vadzidzise ndosaka tiripo isu kuvadzidzisa wakomana avo musanyanya watuka. They seem to expect voters to either vote for them because they've got land, or they are trying to give them land which is exhausted. Land is not a renewable resource. Kana munhu watomba price, there is no way ochati bvani mboisa oningi apasina. Saka it's depleted. Atisina land yacho yekupa, saka havasina chokukambenesa chacho. Saka mukavatuka munenge vakwezve vavhotera triple C. Ashamise chokwa akavhotera triple C. Andiona. So, both this is a message that I've said time and again, repeated time and again. I think by now they really understand that my campaigns determine what message will persuade them when ZANU-PF to vote for triple C. We've got a very a virgin political party. Then the messages that we give is repeated for them to understand. This is an opportunity for ZANU-PF people to wake up. And Mukai Wakomana, voters are not paying attention to your campaign. Definitely voters will never pay attention to ZANU-PF campaign. That doesn't work anymore. That's not what the people of Zimbabwe wants. So by listening to that rubbish from ZANU-PF, that will never bring them votes. So if you change your message, you are only trying to convince voters. We don't want to confuse voters. ZANU-PF always confuse voters. This is why you see ZANU-PF lose elections and triple C has flourished. Lenda isi ZANU ndenyika. That is why ZANU-PF yakazara ma land barons, because they think the land belongs to them. And it more. Saga, ladies and gentlemen, why are you running? Why is triple C running for the president? Why are our candidates running for the office of MP councillors? Why are they there? So we need to make a list of all the reasons why voters should vote for our candidates and should vote for our party. We must know. This is the last time when I said we must have a campaign manager for this. Now, choosing the most compelling reasons from whatever I've stated here, let's write a brief statement about our candidates. We write a brief statement. A good example, mningina wangu kana mwana wangu Caston Mateo. Ndakasa video 1 yaga challenge Reserve Bank. You can tell good, well informed. This is the reason why we need such people who take the government to account. This should be the answer to you. This should be to the answer why Caston Mateo is running for an office of member of parliament. Why Wende is doing that? Why Vondo is doing that? Why should I support Vondo? Why should I support Caston Mateo? Why should I support President Nelson Chamisa? Because their past history in the parliament, what we witnessed, we threw them in. That gives us a thumbs up to say, oh, these were the members of parliament we need. We were lacking this caliber of members of parliament. There are a different caliber of members of parliament we had in MDC. Ladies and gentlemen, from 1980 we had junk in parliament. We had junkie. Right. From 1980 to 2000, Zimbabwe had junk in parliament. Junkie. We tried to rectify it in 2000. Unfortunately, in 2000, takaita zvinhu zvedu haphazardly as well. Vanhu vakangomhanyira kugreba mapositions as members of parliament. As time goes on, sefa yakatanga kuva sefa vega. Vaidona so vachienda. Vana Gabriel chaibva vakarova pasi. Kune vamwe ma-MP vakarova pasi. Andiona, vamwe vachatauri mazita. Sefa vaizvisefa vega. Kuoneka kuti uyu now is an MP who is not, who is a leader, who is not. By now, we are ripe. Taibva. Ndosaka muri kuona we have turned yellow. Both taibva takusvitsa pataifanirwa kusvika kuti tasvikisvike ndopatasvika manje. Hapana asingaziva kuti kana wakuda triple C member of parliament munotorani. Taibva, because we have seen these people from 2000, 22 years with them. Tairishafula tichisa junkie. Saka that junkie yakasarana namonzora. We don't have junkie anymore. Imagine kuti munhu akatapiwa mashakada with that reasoning of a shrimp became a member of parliament for 20 years. Hapana chaakaita. That is junkie. Tatosefa junkie yasara wana komichi junkie zasara dziadzi. Time is a powerful filter. For the past 20 years we have been looking and watching and understanding these characters. Saka mwana taakutaura kuti now why should we support Wende? You cannot support Komich. We know it's junkie. Akatanga kubuda ega pachena, hey, I was spying on this young man or along this and that. It's junkie. So for the past 20 years we survived on junkie. But the sefa yakauya nachamisa akasefa junkie kasara. Andimona saka takushida manje kuselect ma members of parliament chayo vanomirira party yedu. Andimona. Now read this loudly. Think this loudly. Talk this loudly. You must be able to complete whatever I've said in a minute. Kuti junkie yakasara. If you go over a minute, you must trim down certain information again. Take out any long phrases and explanations from whatever you have written, from whatever I've said. Remember that voters will not be paying attention to all your 10 minutes or your rubbish. Anymore. Saka, what we need is to grade our message against the above criteria. Ladies and gentlemen, it is credible and the truth. Do your backup statement with personal experience from your past. Junk takasefa vachamisa vakasefa. Are you talking about things that will be important to your target voters? Whatever we are doing, sefa yakasefa president shamisa yachisefa vanhu nayo vakasara vakana mukaendesa kuvanhu zvakafanana nekuti unozati dzimwe pane rimwe day randakaregreta so ndikati president Welshman Ncua murume uyu ngatimbomutyai ngatimbomusalutai. Ndakaita problem na Welshman Ncua pandakamiswa basa ku prison inini. Ndakaenda Welshman Ncua ari secretary general pa Harvest House. Ndobva ndasvika. I don't think he can remember this, but I'm just reminding him. Ndakasvika ku office ndindairepresenta vakomana vekuchikurubi vari 16 vamiswa basa. Takasiwa tisina kana chikafu tikapuwa half salary sikakwane kana chii. Ndikasvika kuna Welsh, ndakasvika kuna president vachangirai vakanditi ndaunoona Welshman Ncua. Ndakaenda kuna Welsh. Ndaenda kuna Welsh ari secretary general. Ndiye aifanirwa kutsvagira vanhu vaigona kutibatsira for about a month or so tibhadhare vana vechikoro tichese. Ndasvika ikoko akandiudza shoko rimwe chete ndakabuda ndichichema. Ndakaenda kuchikurubi kundonoudza vanhu ndozvandaudzwa na secretary general. Ndakatadza kuzvitaura. Ndakabuda muofisi maWelshman Ncua anditi zvikanzi but muri ma prison officers, muri ma civil servants. Why are you taking active role in politics whilst you are civil servants? Why can't you stay out of politics? You are prison officers. Ndozvaakanditaurira. Ndakabudamo ndikaenda kuchikurubi. Hana chandakabuda ndakabata. Ndikaenda kuchikurubi vanhu vakaungana vachimirira kuti Shepherd ari kuuya nemessage kuti nzwe kuti MDC ichatibatsirawo nei sevanhu vapinda dambudziko rakakura. Apa vanhu vemukembi vese vaitarisa kuti vaone kuti MDC ichavabatsira nei. Apa tachidzingwa futi mukembi. Tanyorwa ma-eviction letters. Andiri kuona. Apa hatina kana mari dzekuti unotuta property yako kuenda kumusha. Andiri kuona. Ndakasvika ndikagara pasi nana mudharabvunza vabaya nevamwe madhara atati nawo ana makumbirofa ndikavataurira. I didn't mince my words. Ndikati ndabva kuoffice secretary general, there is no help we are going to get, ladies and gentlemen. Vakati why? Ndikati vataura kuti why as prison officers are you involved in politics? You shouldn't be involved in politics. There is no help we can offer you. Unozati vanhu vakabva ipo vakuchema. Zvekuti dai kuti MDC yanga iri yekufa, ingadai vanhu vakabva ipapo vakatanga kudhikambira MDC kana kudzokera kuprison head office unotaura kuti hatichaiti zveMDC. Pandopo pandakaona magamba. Vamwe vakabva vatosimuka ipapo vakati vasina mari dzechikafu isusu tine mabusiness atinomboita tokubatsirai, wanda chikafu tinogona kutengerai chikafu. Aluta continue my comrades. Tikatanga kuchimurenga ipapo. tikaendesana kumatare tikaitana sei zvese neprison kusvika tahwina tikadzokera kubasa. Andi muri kuona nyaya tiri kutaura. Saka ndakazoti izvozvo ndopa ndakuda kuona reason why President Welshman Ncube said that. It's the reason why we are watching, why we are seeing our soldiers who participate in ZANU-PF killing people. Because they are participating in politics. This is why we see police blocking Triple C with the Amite Marari. Because they are not supposed to be doing that. They must be protecting the Triple C. It's because they are participating in politics. But now I'm reflecting. I got right mdaro. But why guys are you actively involved in politics with my prison officers? And one, I'm seeing it now that the soldiers who are actively involved in politics, they are killing MDC people. They are killing Triple C people. The police is not allowing Triple C to campaign. They are arresting and killing Triple C people. You understand? Because they are aligned to a political party. So this is why I'm reflecting now. Could know President Welshman Ncube was right when he said that. And so now such statements sometimes do not demoralize them, but we take account of those things that we missed. We reflect on those things for the first time. Now I'm reflecting for the first time. You will or you still must keep those messages as an encouragement to the people of Zimbabwe. As I am speaking right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this program. We will continue probably tomorrow so that you guys understand. I'm going to look at the message box tomorrow. I'm going to look at a lot of things that gives credibility. We need to raise credibility of our party. We need to raise credibility of our party so that voters can choose us. So that let's lower whatever ZANU-PF is doing. ZANU-PF does not have any credibility left now. There is no truth that can come from ZANU-PF. So issues and the campaign message are the things that we will dwell on tomorrow and see how best we have done it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to the end of this program. Remember, when I started talking about these issues, I spoke about dealing with the stupidity. I spoke about dealing with the rudeness and bad mouthing by ZANU-PF. We have fought all this for the past 23 years. We have fought all this since independence. That we have got a political party that has got poor coping skills, that cannot even convince Zimbabweans to vote for them. Hence, this is the image of the Triple C, the Yellow Brigade that you have seen today. Let's vote President Nelson Chamisa. Let's vote for Triple C candidates on the 26th of March, ladies and gentlemen. Ndinonzwa manyuku inini kana drihora rinotsva, ladies and gentlemen. So ndo nyaya dzatofanirwa kuziva. Andivila regai nditi good night, rarai zvakanaka. Madzose dzisachidzaziva ine shoko guru randinoda kubudzai Nelson Chamisa wave nebato itsva iri danho rakatorwa mushure mekunge paonekwa kuti zita reMDC rakange rasvibiswa nemandu ngonzo rakomichina nakupene vamwe. Saka kana mave kuzoenda kunovhota munofanira kucherekedza kwazvo chiso chachamisa nemasi matatu pamwe neruvara rwemabanana. Votera Nelson Chamisa, voterai pamasi matatu. Voterai Nelson Chamisa, voterai paruvara rwemabanana. Votera Nelson Chamisa.
usonchamisa. Voterai pamasi matatu. Voterai neusonchamisa. Voterai paruvara rwemabanana. Musanyengedzwa nebato rezanu. Muchipi wambeu nefotereza. Tinoda bato rinounza mabasa. Kuti mugozvitengera mega zvamunoda. Bato rezanu rauraya nyika. Muzere mbavha dzinoba zvikuru. Vanongozvifunga ivo vega. Momo yenyika ichikangawaya. Kana vouya kwamuri vanonyepa. Kuti masanction auraya nyika. Nyamba varivo vanouraya nyika. Nekuda kweuori wavanoita. Votera neusonchamisa. Voterai pamasi matatu. Voterai neusonchamisa. Voterai paruvara rwemabanana. Votera neusonchamisa. Voterai pamasi matatu. Voterai neusonchamisa. Voterai paruvara rwemabanana.
National anthem akanai. Good night. Murare zvakanaka guys. Tosangana mangwana nai. Marukukada ka national anthem kedaka. Munongouya kuseri mukana namba dzenyu topanana nai. Good night. Murare zvakanaka. Drihora pakaipa.